Welcome back to Ing's Corner. This is episode 117. Oh my god, so welcome back. After 170 days, I am speechless that I've got no excuse for why. I've got reasons, I've got no excuse why it's been so long that believe me or not, I still remember this podcast. Not every day, obviously, but like at least I don't know, once per week, once per 2 weeks. I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know how long this episode's gonna be. Obviously, it's been 170 days because I counted. Last time it was August 25th, and today is actually January. Oh no, sorry, I'm sorry, it's February 11th. Today's actually 大年初二, and for once that I am left home myself. So that's a very reasonable reason for me to be able to do this podcast recording. I don't know if you heard some of my episodes before. I don't usually do recordings when I am not alone at home, which I am home alone half the time. But the thing is, okay, so for the past few months, I am literally not home except sleeping. That is why. And maybe or maybe not, I'm gonna explain why that happened. So let's rewind a bit. I don't know how much I can remember because my last few months have been hilarious, fantastic, and also very random. So a lot of random and spontaneous things that happened. Um, Something that I would probably like to mention first is that okay, so I did went on my secret trip for finally. It has been long due. Like it was much more delayed than I initially thought it could be. So the very first thought of my secret trip 4 was in like June, and then later it was postponed. It was not the same thing. It was literally like, okay, the previous trip was canceled, and I'm just postponing the same name. I'm just putting the same name on my latter trips. So it was at first probably in June, and then that thing couldn't happen. It was the two set world tour in Hong Kong, and then I was like, okay, my next goal, quote unquote goal for my secret trips are traveling with someone that like staying with someone for 24 hours or like more like 3 or 4 days, I don't know, or maybe a week. And I did find someone that also wanted to travel, but it was not about the person. That person doesn't really know the extreme of traveling with someone. Like we're friends, but I feel like they took this too casually. Like they don't know how serious it's gonna be. It's like it's gonna potentially ruin our friendship, even though maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't, because we're like international friendships. Anyway, so that was planned. Like I would say, like 40-60%, like a thought, not like actually money putting down. But it didn't happen. Again, it was supposed to be like in September. It didn't happen, not because it was partially because of me and them, but the other reason is because of my school. Like something just like they changed entire system for exams, and the dates that was used to be the date of our exam got like super duper postponed, like 2 to 3 weeks postponed. So we couldn't do that trip anymore. Fortunately, we did not book anything yet, almost barely. And then in August, in October and November, I had this very big trip that I had to go as a translator with someone in my family. We are going to North America for like 3 weeks. For it's not a vacation, just it's not fun at all. I've already gone, so I can tell you it is not. I did not expect it to be fun, and it is indeed not fun. So it was like more than 2/3 of visiting people, and then traveling, and then like sitting on a road trip or whatever. Not literally, not trip, just like sitting on a car or plane or a train, whatever. And yeah, so that was done. It was not fun. It was okay. We did not have like arguments with the people on the road. It was okay. So that it couldn't. My secret trip 4 couldn't happen in October and November, and then I got work. I got job. I got multiple jobs indeed. In fact, so I couldn't just leave all the time as I want. So in like the December, I was full on work mode. Also, the entire of January, I was full on work mode. You couldn't believe how many days I've worked. And I'm literally like exhausting myself out. And then January, and the very last week of January, that connects to February, I finally went on my secret trip 4, and I went to the places I went. I did not expect myself to go back to the country again, and also I went to a different country. So I went to two countries, two different cities, and the second one, I also did not. I mean, I've meant to go for a little while, but I don't really want to go by myself because it's not that safe. And just I have nothing researched there, and I also no one there, so I don't really have like a very legit reason to go aside from I just wanted to go. And yeah, anyway, so I mean, like, my sector 3, it was also not a really safe city slash country, but I've got people that I know there, and more than one. So I'm not like going with them, like they're literally locals. I'm not living with them. I'm just like, okay, at least I've got people to ask about things. And you know what? I mean, the universe just give me someone that I could know. I mean, technically I know someone from that country, but I'm not that close to that person. I know more than one people, but I'm just not close with them. So later, uh, in one of my works, I got close with one of the colleagues, and that person was from that country. So this is a very surprising thing. It surprised myself. It also surprised like a in hindsight type of surprise. So it is true that I've been wanting to go to that country, and so I did lie to that person. I do want to go, and they are going back. They're just a student actually. They are going back. Yeah, they are just a part-time worker at one of my works, and they're going back during winter holiday. So I did not go back with them. That sounds really weird. Because this was like before Chinese New Year and all that. I flew like 2 days after, which is also just like a perfect timing. It's like okay, the date I didn't choose the date because of that person. I chose the date because it was freaking super duper cheap, the flight to the country. I've been tracking the price to this country for well over a year, so I know what the price is supposed to be like usually. Like I know the entire year of like 2023 what's the price flying from TPE to that country, and it was literally like 2/3 of that price, which is not gonna get cheaper. I know for a fact that it's not gonna get cheaper. So, and on that specific date, it was the cheapest in 2024. The early 2024 was like, let's go for it. And then accidentally, okay, that person flew 2 days before me, and so we were like, maybe we could, meet up in one city, and then we could, travel together. And I mean, this trip, it's not like I'm going on a holiday, I'm like vacation. No, it's, I mean, okay, holiday and vacation depends on like how do you define it, depends on different people, but to me it's literally just like a very chill, nothing is planned, nothing needs to be planned, and I don't want to plan anything. It's like, because as I mentioned, I've been working to death in December and January, and also aside from working, I've been hanging out with people, like actually physical hangout, a lot, like super duper lot, because I just like got people that I can hang out with in person, and we are very compatible with each other. So we just hang out a lot in the entire December and January. It's like a really really weird thing. If you know me, I could mention this later, but this is like a little prerequisite, because I am someone that's a nerd of weird, like patterns and numbers and things like that. So I've got just like whole number, like 100 or 1,000, or just like strikes, weird strikes. I love weird strikes. I don't like the normal strikes, and so this is one of them. And okay, so if I remember, I'll come back. But if I don't remember, that's fine. So yeah, like I have not counted how many days that I worked in December. Maybe I can count the days I did not work in December for you. Let's see. So starting from December 1st. Okay, I did not work on December 4th. Because someone booked that day with me already, like a few weeks prior. So I don't work that day. And then aside from that day, I did not work on the following Monday, which is December 11th, because I technically did go to one of my workplace for responsibilities, but I did not need to work. At that point, I've got 2 jobs. And why I say at that point, because I've now got 3 jobs. Don't worry, I'm gonna remove some of them. 1 or 2, yes. It's too much for sure. It's too much. Anyway, so that Monday I did. It was an accident that I was like, I was surprised I didn't have to work on either of my jobs. So I went to an interview. Okay, the third job is more like a very casual job. The only reason I went there is because my friend needed me, or else they couldn't sustain. They couldn't survive there. And I only need to go like once per week, like for like 4 to 6 hours, at most twice a week, just it's like whole responsibility thing. Doesn't yeah, it's just like that. And at least I can sit, because my other two jobs I have to stand the entire day, so that's a good thing. And also it's pretty high pay, so even though I just go for a little time, that's why I was like, okay, you need to give me a high pay, or else it's like an hourly rate. Or else, and also like, I mean, I can sit, I can hang out with my friend, not like literally hang out, but I can just see my friends, and yeah, earn some money. So yeah, so that Monday I went to that third job interview. Not really interview, more like chatting with my friends and the interviewer at the same time. And then the same week, 14th and 15th, also two accidents that I don't have to work. Um, I thought I was gonna work, but I don't. 15 is a on purpose thing that I have something to do, and the 14th I thought I need to work on the 14th, but I don't. Okay, fine. Anyway, and so that was 4 days, right? I don't have to work in December. It was quite a lot, to be honest. Already, it was like 15 in December right now, and then I don't have to work on the 19th and 21st. Also, not really planned. I guess I slept a lot. Well, some like on the 19th, I was like, okay, I really need sleep. I really, really, really need sleep, because I was like, the hangout that I previously mentioned, I was literally staying out until at least midnight. Why do I say at least? Because it's usually until 1 a.m. Average 1 a.m. Wait, no, average 1:30 or 2 a.m. Sometimes 3, and extreme case like 1 or 2 days. Wait, no, definitely more than one day. Maybe 2 or 3 days to 4 a.m. That was an exception. And then so yeah, 19th and 21st I don't have to work, and then so that was 6 days, right? And then 27th. But that day I also have to go to one of my workplace to do some sort of work job. I just don't have to stay for the entire day. So that was 7 days, sort of 7 days, and that's it. So the entire December I only don't have to work for 7 days, which is a lot. Trust me, okay, which is a lot. Because if you remember, you probably don't, but you can refer to my last episode, which I said I worked 17 days, consecutively. That was in August, and I am still astonished by myself at that point. Anyway, okay, so back to, yeah, that was December, right? My December, I love my December actually, because okay, so I'm someone that I lived in Taiwan for the vast majority of my life, and I've gone out, yes, but I did not like. I'm not like absolute Western culture kid. I have some Western culture in mind, but I'm not. And so why am I saying this? Because Christmas. Okay, so Christmas is like a big thing for Western people. I've never celebrated Christmas, even when I am physically abroad during Christmas, because Christmas to other people is like Chinese New Year to Chinese people. It's like a family reunion, whatever. I'm literally abroad. I can't be with my family, and I mean I don't want to be there with them anyway. So it's like I was with, I think, with my homestay family. That was just once in my life that was not in Taiwan during Christmas, and I mean not recently anymore. I knew quite a few new friends in the past few months. Some we just get closer to each other, and we just like, yeah, we just hang out a lot. And one of them is really into Christmas and things that are like more lifestyle. Like in Chinese, it's like 仪式感. So they like this a lot. They're really prone to this type of thing, and I'm sort of influenced by this person that I started to want to celebrate, quote unquote, celebrate some things in life, just for our own sake, not for anyone. And they like Christmas a lot, and they wanted to celebrate Christmas with people that they like around them. So a little group of friends or something like that, and they introduced their friend to me, and also yeah, I introduced my friend to them. And so it was because of this, but I did not actually celebrate Christmas on that day with this person. We were all working, and we don't need to celebrate on that day necessarily. But I did because of this. So I do want to celebrate Christmas and the New Year. Also because the New Year's, because I did not get to celebrate New Year for the past few years, at least the past 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 years. Not because of the pandemic, for sure. Just a lot of different scenarios that did not result in me actually able to celebrate. Anyway, so that's why I was like, okay, this December is actually quite amazing, because I did the things that I wanted to do. Celebrating Christmas, going to some Christmas markets with my friends, and doing some weird stuff, and also actually subtly watching the fireworks, because the location wasn't too good anyway. So it was, I mean, my friend doesn't like crowds. I like crowds. My friend doesn't like crowds. So we did not go to the center. Also, the time does not allow us to go to the center because, yeah, they ended their work at 10 p.m. So literally not possible. But it's all fine. You know, it's all the things that matter is who you are with. So that's great. And then, so okay, starting in January, let's see how many days that I did not have to work. Okay, so January 7th and 8th. These 2 days that I did not have to work is because I've got midterms to do, so I have to not work. And then, let's see what's next. And then I'm starting my third job, so it's every Monday that I need to go. I am not sure that I go on not Monday. Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe just one that not Monday that I did once. So 7th, 8th, that's 2 days. And then on the 16th, that's an accident that I don't have to work. Did I not go to? Yeah, okay, yeah. Anyway, so I did not have to work that day, which was a surprise. So that's 3 days. And then every day working, and then the 28th. So 28th, I was supposed to work. Okay, so that was 3 days, right? That's the end. That's the end of me not working the entire January. Aside from me going abroad, because that was already like I had this like kind of sort of booking with my boss at this you know, more responsible job. That's my first job actually. The current first part-time job. Months ago. So it was back in like I don't know September, October that I told my boss that I will need a week off for, you know, a trip by myself in maybe January or March. I told them already because, you know, Chinese New Year was in February, so that's why it was January or March. So, and I confirmed this with them, I think in late November or early December. So it's quite early. Anyway, or yeah, maybe mid-December. Anyway. So the last week of January was out of the way, and 28th I was supposed to work, but the friend that I traveled with in the end on my secret trip forward, I mean partially, more than half actually. I didn't win. I just go for like 6 days. It was pretty short, and I had 4 days, 3.5 in that country that I never went, and then 2.5 in the country that I've already been quite a few times. So on the 28th I was supposed to work, but because that friend of mine, their flight was I think like 8:20 maybe in the morning on the 28th, and there's no car that's gonna take them there aside from taxi, and we're poor students, so we're not gonna take a taxi. I mean, they're not gonna take a taxi, and so they have a plan to stay at the airport the previous night, so they're gonna take the latest train there and stay there, and they want me to accompany them. I was like, oh my god, because this person, like, I am someone, I spoil my friends usually, so I usually just say yes to all the things that my friends requested, regardless of who. But this is the only request that I paused and say, let me think about it. When I say this, because the reason is because I need to work on the 27th and 28th, both starting at 10 a.m. So technically, I can come back and work on the 28th if I go to send them on the 27th. But I'm not gonna stay. I would need to stay up all night. So the answer is just no. I cannot work on the 28th. Either I don't work on the 28th and I go, or I don't go, right? But this is like a first request that person has ever requested to me, and also because we actually promised each other a really weird thing. Okay, I'm like a record nerd, right? So you gotta bear with me here. So we promised something to each other that, okay, one day we're gonna, I stay out late, right? We stay out 1 or 2 days at that point until almost 4 a.m. And we're like, okay, one day we're gonna stay up chatting or doing whatever until the sunrise, and we're gonna go see the sunrise together, and then go eat breakfast, and then go back home to sleep. So this is like a very weird promise, whatever. Like, okay, is it a promise? I don't know. I would say it's more like a joke, but I mean, I take things seriously, and I did not expect that person to actually. I mean, it could be an excuse, okay, you know, whatever. I'm just trying to convince myself this thing has been done. It doesn't matter. So I was like, let me think about it. Can I go? Oh my god. And so I think because okay, the thing is, if I need to go, if I want to go, I will need to not work on 28th, in which I will need to find an excuse or a reason to, file a day off because I need to find someone to, file me and replace me. And I am relatively good at thinking of a very legit reason for things that, usually for a different thing. Anyway, but I was thinking for like 3 days, literally 3 days. Like every day I've met up with that person and we were eating or something. So, okay, we live pretty close. This is the perk of living really close with your friend. I love this, I love this. Like I've got many friends that I like, very close friends that I lived close with before. So I'm like, I treasure this so much because you can easily meet up and you don't have to worry about going back home too late or taking a long time or you got no energy, whatever. So, during the 3 days that between that I was thinking, I was like, oh my god, how can I, tell my boss that I sort of need to, have a leave on the 28th? Because I told my boss that I'm gonna fly on the 30th. Anyway, so, yeah, so after 2 days, I did think of a reason. I told my boss that, so the flight thing, I'm choosing the cheapest flight, obviously, and the cheapest one is actually, it changed to the 29th, like, morning, so I need to go, or I forgot, it changed to the 28th, something like that, and fortunately, she can cover me, so I am really grateful for my boss that day. I was like, oh my god, and I still remember the time that I the time that I finally think of a reason to persuade my boss, or just like, inform, is during one day. It's in December, so it's like, somewhat cold. It was relatively cold that day. Wait, no, sorry, it was in January already, so it's like, yes, cold. It was not cold this December at all. And we were eating twabing. Yes, we were literally eating ice in the winter. I do like that, actually. Anyway, so we were eating, and okay, we were meeting for like straight up for too many days at that point. We were having some weird, obsession of, having, it's like checking, okay, we're checking with each other every day, but we've got nothing to say to each other anymore because we're seeing each other too much. And yeah, so we were silent for a long while, and they were sometimes like look up to me, was like, what are you thinking? I was like, I'm still thinking about the reason, an excuse, like how to persuade. And they were like, okay, fine. And then they just go back down to eat. That was how it was like for like that 3 days. And when we were eating, okay, like halfway through, my head is like, the anime or like cartoon, like suddenly there's a light bulb popping up at someone's head. Literally, like, that's me. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I made no sound. I just suddenly straightened up and like raised my head, and my friend was like, what? Like, I just like, they raised their head as well, right? I was like, because I got a big gesture. I've got no sound. And I was like, I've thought about it. Okay, 我想到了 how to tell my boss. And they're like, oh my god. Well, they're not that excited. They're just, calm because they're scrolling their phone. Their mind is probably elsewhere. And okay, so like, I just tell them the reason. And they're okay, cool. And so I think I didn't text it my boss that night, but yeah, anyway, I texted the night or something. Yeah, so that's how it is. And so that is my January. And yeah, it was quite a 2 month prior. I feel like, I am not that physically exhausted, but I also don't have time to take care of myself physically. I'm like I'm not basically, I am eating out almost all the time now. Almost don't have time to cook. But yeah, I'm not earning a lot of money as well, because it's all just, basic jobs. And the thing is, I'm not doing any studies. That's a big problem. I just enjoy working more, if you can understand me. Although, yeah, I mean, I also, I really, really enjoy hanging out with my friends. So I am, like, sacrificing a lot of things myself. For example, like, one of my friends, they ended their work at 10, so, our usual hangout times are after 10, which is, eating something, like, going to night markets and stuff, and then chatting until midnight or something. But that time is not my usual eating time, and I don't usually eat, like, 4 to 6 hours before I sleep. But then that's, like, almost the only time we can hang out. So it's like, partially sacrificed by me. And also just like going out with other people, I'm just like, I do want to hang out with people, but then if most of the time, maybe, yeah, for me that's most of the time, but maybe for them it's a different thing. I feel like I'm also always just like listening. it's such a ironic thing because I'm the one that speaks a lot, and that's the whole reason I started this podcast, which is very weird now that I remember I was saying maybe in this podcast or maybe to someone that I am learning how to become a listener. Becoming a listener is not just listening. It's like actually, knowing how to respond and all that. But I feel like, on my way there, I am not sure whether I am or I have become a listener yet or not. This is not for myself to judge. But I feel like on my way there, I've become a bit too much of a actual listener, like a literal listener for other people. Like, okay, not like literal listener, like a literal dumpster sometimes. And this is like, yeah, I know. If you know me, after quite a long talk, it's gonna be deep. It gotta go deep somehow. If you stayed, you gotta hear. If you didn't stay, yeah. Anyway, so that's just like, yeah, partially my feelings. And right now it's Chinese New Year, right? So I don't have to hang out with them. Not, I almost say anymore. Oh my god, that's a bit scary. But it's like, I miss them. I do miss them. We still chat, online, obviously. But because we usually chat only in person, so it's like a different level of missing each other. There must be a reason why we usually chat in person. Probably there could be multiple reasons, but some of the reasons that I would say myself is that one of us or both of us, I would say one of us, depending on who I'm talking to, like which friend I'm referring to. Maybe one of us is more. We just don't like typing, or we just don't like slow at typing or bad at expressing ourselves, through text, or even they don't like voice message, they don't like phone calls. Any reason could be. That's why we always hang out in person. I do treasure people that makes time for you to hang out in person, because you gotta pay attention to the person in front of you. You could scroll a phone, right? But the other person will know that you're scrolling your phone, or you are not paying attention, or you're responding to someone else's message. Anyway, one thing though, since it's like foreign to this podcast, this episode, I am going to tell you is that there are a lot of things that's changed, but not much. It's pretty weird, I know. There are a lot of things that change in terms of all the social things and that. Not much change about me, but I got to try a lot of different things that I wanted to try but got no chance before. Not really extreme, it's so not extreme. And I love it. And one of my favorite, okay, I'm referring to my CQ4 actually. Okay, I did accidentally travel with someone. Okay, one thing, you gotta know this. It is only confirmed that I am going to this other country that my friend's living in. Well, their hometown. They're studying in Taiwan. Only like the day prior. So how the day prior? 6 p.m. 6 p.m. on the bus the day prior. And also with another addition. So they invited their friend. I was like, I'm okay. I'm so okay with that. But the thing is, we all live together. It's like we've got at least, well, not at least. I'm sorry. Yeah, we've got two genders anyway. So I was like, I'm fine with that. And it's about what the other person finds or not. I was like, I'm so fine with that. And I was like, anyway. So this is one of the things I've always wanted to try. It's like going out with someone and staying together for. It's like, okay, traveling with friends. Obviously, everyone knows. Okay, most people knows it's a challenge. It's like it could be a milestone. It could also be a challenge. And I thoroughly enjoyed this entire trip. So it's fantastic. And I would say, what's my favorite timing? I've told two of my friends, and I told my travel buddy that I asked them to guess, because I think it's pretty fun. I just like, I don't ask people to guess much. I just want them to guess. I told them before I left. I was like, it was when the three of us were together, and I was like, you know what? When you go back to Taiwan, you can tell me what's your guess on my favorite timing. It could be a moment. It could be like a period of time during this few days that we're like the three of us, or more than the three of us, because their relatives are also joined. Like, and I was like, okay, when you go back to Taiwan, you can tell me your guess about what's my favorite timing. And they're like, oh my god, it's so hard. I was like, just take your time. You can. We're still traveling. You can think about it later. Obviously, the time when I asked this question, when I made this statement, the favorite timing already happened. It was the last morning, and their friend is also there. I was like, yeah, you can also guess, just we're friends now, sort of. I'm not gonna meet that person again, probably, but I'll just let him guess. And when I think, yeah, I told two of my friends or more, I forgot, that also pretty close friends of mine, through text or in person, that was my favorite timing throughout. And I don't care if it's weird or not, because I don't care if anyone listens to this point. So my favorite timing, or like period of time, throughout the entire trip is that while one day we were all like laying on the bed, like different beds, obviously, scrolling our own phone, and we're just casually, not really chatting, but we're like, yeah, just like, okay, I think either we're all scrolling our phone or we're playing games. It's like like you can still talk, right? And we were like casually asking the other person, oh, is there any, just like one sentence, one question per, a few minutes, like, oh, is there anything, funny on your, let's say you're scrolling your Facebook, you're scrolling your Instagram, is there anything funny on your page that you want to share? Just like very casual, like, oh, 有什么好笑可以分享吗? Like that. And or just like, oh, I thought about something, or oh, someone messaged me that's, both of us both knew, and we could, chat about it. So it's just super casual. That's like my favorite moment, and I don't know if they can guess it, because it's very subtle. When I told my other friends, they're like, oh my god, how can they know this is like your favorite moment? But it's just really chill. And I mean, they're a bit pressured throughout, because they're sort of bringing me to their home country, even though that's not the same city they grew up with. Yeah, so it was like, but there's still that pressure, like, because you're bringing like a foreigner into your country, right? Like you sort of have to take them around. But it's literally this entire trip was just like, I'll sleep until we want to wake up and just stroll around, not really have anything planned, just as long as we're not hungry, it's all fine. So that's that. And I got my, after hearing, how many days I've worked in the past 2 months, you really gotta know how much I needed that. And yeah, so that is that. And as a little wrap up, I don't know, I really, really, really hope I can this is a big hope, but I really hope I can continue to do this podcast in the following weeks. I don't want to, come back every few months, which yeah, anyway, I just don't. Okay, but we'll see how it goes, because I'm just a friend that always sacrifices myself, which I really need to learn. But I also feel like, you don't know when you're gonna meet another friend like this, that you're this compatible, and you just, I don't know how to, it's not like soulmate. I don't think, I don't believe soulmate. I just don't think this is a soulmate situation. Yeah, anyway, so as a conclusion for this episode, I am hopefully gonna reduce my workload in March, very soon. I mean, one of my jobs gonna increase the workload, but it's more like a chill job, relatively my second job. And my first and third, hopefully it's gonna end. My third job hopefully is gonna end in February, and my first job, I'm now considering either reducing it to like the bare minimum. The bare minimum is gonna be, I don't know, 4 to 6, or at most 8 days per month. Yeah, or completely just quitting, because I've already told them I'm not that irresponsible. Okay, I've already told them long ago. Yeah, so I will have to give my final verdict after Chinese New Year, and hopefully we'll see each other very soon. Okay, goodbye, see you next time.